Have you ever felt that there is something you must do but can't seem to do no matter what? Whether because you hate doing it, or maybe it's a difficult task. Or maybe you just really don't feel like it. Despite how many other tasks you have done perfectly, you just can't seem to shake off that annoying feeling. Like hearing the non-stop croaking of a frog at the back of your head. That's why in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to eat that frog. Wait, don't be alarmed. Before you click that next button, please note that I am not talking about the gastronomic delicacies of France, but rather how eating the frog might be one of the most significant activities you can perform every single day. Mark Twain, being one of the most successful American writers of all time, once said, "If it's your job to eat a frog, do it first thing in the morning." Not being French, we can only assume that Mr. Twain was using this analogy to describe the tasks of the day. It would be prudent to pay attention to his words of wisdom. Welcome to Thrive Test. If you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button and join our community? And as always guys, give this video a thumbs up for that YouTube algorithm. Assume that you're an entrepreneur and your day consists of 5 tasks, 3 of which you greatly enjoy, 1 of which is a bit of a drag, and the last one is something you utterly hate. Now, as the day progresses, which task do you expect will remain at the bottom of the priority list? Let's call this task the frog. As the week passes, that frog remains untouched, unfulfilled, and incomplete. And as a result, you, the capable entrepreneur, may occasionally feel the same way. Your days feel so empty, and the frog is always at the back of your mind. Before we begin biting into our amphibian friend, let's do a brief experiment concerning your productivity. Let me ask you this. Where would you say the highest percentage of tasks are being completed? Let's say 10% is the highest. According to research made by the California-based project management platform Red Boot, which involved hundreds of thousands of users who use the platform to organize and track their work, we learned that on an average day, nearly 10% of our tasks were accomplished around 11 a.m. Overall productivity decreases slightly after lunch and then plummets completely after 4 p.m. This means that the pinnacle of productivity occurs before 11 a.m., and we must seize that opportunity. After all, it's already a miracle if we get anything done at this age that has an overwhelming amount of digital distraction. We are constantly being flooded with breaking news updates, celebrity tweets, stock price alerts, emails from coworkers, phone calls from friends, and video upload alerts from our favorite YouTube channels. So, how frequently do you check your phone? Do you check it twice an hour? 3 times perhaps? If you say yes, well, congratulations. You're actually below average compared to a person who checks their phone 5 times an hour. That's every 12 minutes. This may not appear to be a major concern. After all, how much damage can be done by a sneaky quick peek on a phone when taking a little break from a major task? Unfortunately, research conducted by Dr. Glenn Wilson at London's Institute of Psychiatry discovered that regular interruption and distraction resulted in a 10-point drop in the average person's IQ. A 10-point drop may not seem like much, but it would reduce Albert Einstein's IQ from exceptionally gifted to only highly gifted. As mentioned earlier in this video, the most productive time of the day is the hours before 11 a.m. And we now know that the greatest enemy of our mental capabilities is digital distractions. By combining these 2 pieces of information, we realize the significance of completing particular and perhaps tedious activities before crossing the boundary of our 11 a.m. window with nothing but pure undistracted focus. Before we continue, I'd like to ask you guys, what is your greatest enemy or distractions that would always interfere with your work and that keeps you from being productive? Please let us know your answers in the comment section down below. Going back to the first topic, first let's identify the frog, which can be either your most important task or a task with a degree of challenge and complexity that produces a good lot of mental resistance, creating all kinds of pathways to the procrastination abyss. This task may not be extremely urgent, which may lead to it never being completed. But by now, you should have a task in mind that you can identify as the frog. Begin by looking for something that takes fewer than 4 hours to complete. If the frog is a time-consuming chore, divide it into tiny chunks and work through it day by day. Assume the frog's job is to form and maintain relationships with 5 new businesses, ultimately leading to your product being employed in their marketing strategy. This is a very large frog, so why not start by compiling a list of 20 businesses that you believe would benefit greatly from your product? Then you may work on the initial call or email that will help you get your foot in the door with each of these businesses. By dividing down your frog into smaller bits, the work becomes much more manageable. Every day brings a new frog and a step closer to your desired goals. Ideally, eating the frog before noon will give you a huge sense of accomplishment, and in return, the satisfaction of an immediate win would drive you to complete a more enjoyable task for the remainder of the day. What if I have 2 frogs though? Remember that Mark Twain quote at the beginning of the video? If it's your job to eat 2 frogs, best to eat the biggest one first. And just how it is. Take the larger of the 2 and confront it first thing in the morning with a clear head and a level of willpower worthy of Warren Buffett. Second, and most importantly, eat your frog first. Checking your emails, reading the daily news, or scrolling through the latest headlines with your morning coffee can undoubtedly seem like a more pleasant way to start your day. But we can guarantee you'll do it eventually. What's at stake here is your frog. Mute your phone and lay it face down to avoid occasional flashes of notifications. Tell others around you that you'll be eating your daily frog and they should leave you in peace. Sit down, put on some calming music, and devote all of your peaked mental energy to your daily frog. The news headlines will still be there when you're finished, so skip all of that sophisticated strategizing that you usually do. Planning is enjoyable because it provides us with an almost instant sense of professional fulfillment without requiring us to do anything. It feels satisfactory since you've listed all the things you intend to accomplish. But are you certain that you will do them? We've all heard that plans don't always go as planned. So, for the practice of eating frogs, let's avoid it altogether, or nearly entirely. Instead of putting yourself in a position to fall behind, begin each day fresh. With a new frog, tackle and eat them one day at a time. Success is not built in a day, but rather through a series of successful days. The power of creating and keeping to a habit is woven into the minds of those who have silk woven into their suits. Habit is the key. Give yourself the challenge of eating the frog every day for a week. Then ask yourself at the end of the week, how do I feel? What have I accomplished? Am I closer to achieving my goals? I can tell you that the feel-good endorphins released by your brain as a result of accomplishing these actions daily will urge you into making it a more frequent daily habit. After 2 weeks, you'll be hungry, and after 3 weeks, you'll be unstoppable. Finally, a pat on the back is always appreciated. Aside from the sense of accomplishment that comes with successfully eating many frogs, don't forget to reward yourself. Flaunt it on a rod, like a carrot in front of a wary horse. Whether it is about attending a gig, a massage, or spa day, or spending the whole afternoon lazing around. Tell yourself that if I eat 15 frogs without fail over the next 3 weeks, I'll give myself that well-deserved treat. Not only will you truly deserve it, but you'll also feel completely guilt-free when you're binge-watching the latest season of Ozark. Expect to leave procrastination and unfinished business in the dust if you follow these rules. Finally, it boils down to discipline and an intentional effort to do well at work and a genuine desire to enhance your life. As Bill Gates famously stated, most people overestimate what they can get done in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. Begin the day on a high note by eating the frog for breakfast. Thank you for sticking with us. Before we wrap up today's video, here are some bonus tips. Aside from personal words of inspiration and accomplishment rewards, there is a certain power in visual reminders. Post-it Notes established a billion-dollar corporation based on the power of visual reminders. Even if it's only a piece of paper with a re-adhesive strip of glue, hospitals found a 43% boost in individuals washing their hands after putting visual reminders over their sinks. While Forbes discovered that writing down goals made them 1.2 to 1.4 times more likely to be met. using the power of visual reminders to help you reach your goals might be effective. A post-it note on your laptop, a cover on your morning coffee mug, or our personal favorite, a squishy little frog that sits on your desk blankly staring at you with a grave look of dislike until your morning frog has been eaten, will do the trick. Anything you can do to boost the likelihood of completing your priority task is encouraged. Visualize it, believe it, and do it. Thank you for watching this Thrive-tastic video. So if you found it valuable, consider subscribing to our channel and joining our awesome community. And if you're still hungry for more, we handpicked this awesome Thrive-tastic video for you to watch next.